Andrew Przybylski, Oxford professor and psychologist, concluded, and I quote, "Playing video games daily makes people happy and more emotionally stable. This is the same thing as saying that drinking water ends with thirst. Well, just like any other activity that involves physical skills, interpretation, or reasoning, it will be positive to people. It could be cultural or intellectual, but all of these activities have benefits." This information is obvious, but Oxford needs to make a study about it for people to believe in it. This is something I always knew since I was younger, and from my personal experience, video games are good for mental health. There's a lot of judgment when it comes to video games, but I'm here to tell you that games help people of all ages in many areas. After doing some research and gathering experience of my own, I concluded that games don't harm people's health, but they improve it, and I'll show you why. People that play since little are in great competitive advantage in the market compared to other people that never played before. And because of that, people will learn to have a better reasoning, they will think fast, have better interpretation, analysis, will have their creativity stimulated, and they will read more. If someone hates reading, for example, I can tell you that in a video game, that person will read and will enjoy it, and they won't even realize it. Well, when I was playing, I faced a lot of challenges, but the game was always to keep it going. I was defeated at first, but I realized that I had to keep thinking about solutions and eventually win. People will usually say that gamers are obese and don't exercise, but there are games that allow people to dance and work out. In this case, activities present in the game move the entire body and they burn calories in a fun way. According to Gustavo Maglioca, Brazilian doctor expert in sports and physical exercises, said, and I quote, "There are cases where people would use video games in therapeutic rehab, which in action, the game makes the patient that suffer a trauma, a heart attack, or a stroke, for example, improves their performance and better results in a short period of time. This happens because playing video games activates adrenaline. The muscles become more active and the patient is able to handle the pain. If the person wins in the game, for example, serotonin, the happiness hormone that promotes the feeling of well-being and pleasure, is activated, which can help recovery and treatment. Video games are good allies against psychological disorders, according to the University of Pennsylvania. Published by the website Daily Mail, depression can be defeated effectively with distractions and mental exercises, especially those present in video games. According to this experiment made by the University of Pennsylvania, games help people with this disorder to protect sensitive areas of their brains that are affected by negative emotional reactions. In other words, depressed people find in video games a relief due to the distraction from real problems, like bullying, family issues, or problems with their jobs, since a game requires attention. Researchers from this same university said, and I quote, "The conclusion was consistent that depressed people were recovering using distractions and strategies to change their focus." End quote. Now, British Medical Journal had researchers publishing a development of a game called Sparks. And let me tell you about this game. This game has a theme of a fantasy world, and it uses therapy techniques to help patients, usually reducing anxiety and depression in 33%. And after a test was made with 187 teenagers, 44% of those who completed at least 4 out of the 7 modules of the game recovered. Sally Mary is an associate professor and author of this study, and she declared the use of this program resulted in a major reduction of depression, anxiety, and improved those teenagers' lives. Besides games that are created exclusively to help treating medical disorders, medical conditions, and mental disorders, casual gamers also can play normal games and still be assisted with if they have those problems by those games. In conclusion of everything I covered, video games help people to get exercise. They treat patients during recovery from a mental disease. They help treating depression and protect sensitive areas of the brain and so on. There is a political and social matter involved where companies and big corporations that are against video games are going to judge and create arguments to fight against this new form of recreation, putting schools and parents to neglect this type of entertainment. But no one attacks videos, movies, saying that they are bad for people's health, or violent books can make people dangerous. If this continues to happen, prejudgment will still be present whenever someone talks about games, and parents will still deprive their kids from enjoying this new form of entertainment. Video games are like movies or books. It is just another cultural expression. But the only difference is that games are interactive. And that's what makes me think that games are even better than movies and shows. Instead of judging video games and people that play constantly, I challenge you to choose a game that grabs your attention and try playing it. Because besides improving your mental performance in memory, reaction time, your capacity of making choices, I bet you will get involved in the story, the art, music, gameplay, and you will rethink your opinion about this topic. Thank you.
Acabou, filho.
Agora... Ih, deu 9 minutos, mas não esquece que o vídeo... Mantém sempre ali em cima, pai.
Sim, eu tô vendo. Vai. Pausa com tudo direito.
It could be cultural or intellectual, but all of these activities have benefits. Tá ruim?
Ficou bom não. O que a gente não gravou tinha ficado melhor. Vamos repetir?
Vamos. Do jeito que tá, não pausa nada.